Big Ben, sound of London, the flower of cities all, herald of the morning, of dawn on the River Thames. The night folds gently away, the street lamps fade and the stars grow pale. In the east, the sky fills with a smoky, grey, misty light, flecking the mysterious, still dark waters of the river that lapped the Roman city Londinium. In the pool beyond London Bridge, as the Roman galleys and sailing vessels, filled with spices and corn and oil, once stirred on the first light of day, the modern ships and steamboats shudder and awaken to catch the tide. Giant liners, cargo ships from the oceans of the world, sleek oil tankers, and stubborn red-funneled barges with shining brass nameplates, Maggie and Rosie and Star of the East, kick at the strong current. Cranes stretch their skeleton arms to a sky now feathery and pink like the breast of a pigeon. Warehouses and wharves stand silhouetted against the morning. Suddenly, the sun gleams on the startling white wings of a swan, waking from the mud of Limehouse Reach. The markets are already open. At Billingsgate, a pussycat's paradise, where 800 tons of fish pour in every day, the air is pungent with the smell of the sea. Wet fish glisten on the cold counters under the arc lamps of the big hall. At Covent Garden, mounds of oranges, apples and tomatoes, great bags of carrots and onions, and impudent curly green cabbage spill over the cobblestones of Inigo Jones's once elegant piazza. And here are the flowers being auctioned in the floral hall. Flowers galore in glorious bundles, from glossy great orchids to a bunch of daisies.
A tenner for this lot, 15, 20. Thank you, sir. Here you are, love, fresh this morning.
Women weave their way in among the baskets and the barrows, tough cockney bundles of thick clothing.
So I says to her, I says, who do you think you are, Marilyn Monroe? Oh, you ought to have seen the look she gave me. Honest, I'm not lying to you. She looked like she could have struck me dead.
Hats askew, they amble over to the coffee stall that stands by the Actors' Church with a pillared portico, where Shaw set the scene for his immortal Eliza Doolittle.
Drury Lane, just across the market, love. Look there.
Theatre Royal of the Orange Girl who flirted with a king. Pretty, witty Nellie Gwynn. Theatre of Congreve, Garrick, Sheridan and Siddons.
And there, Ducks, in Bow Street, opposite the police court. There.
The splendid Royal Opera House, Covent Garden, home of Melba, Caruso and Wagner's Ring, of Margot Fontaine and Royal Ballet, of gala nights and long white gloves. But the morning is getting older. The rush hour has begun. From the east and the west, from Brighton, Battersea and Beaconsfield they come, the workers converging on the square mile of the city. Crowding the trains, crowding the buses, busy as bees homing to the hive of offices. The typists and secretaries, high-heeled shoes impatiently tapping the pavement. clerks in their raincoats, and the directors, bowler hats, umbrellas, and briefcases stuffed with important papers. Trade at the banks in Lombard Street and the Stock Exchange, in Mincing Lane, Cheapside, and the Poultry. Trade in the markets for tea and tin, pepper and salt and bergamot. Trade in anything, any sort of merchandise, from the hide of an African antelope to a box of curtain pins. Busy emporium of trade and traders, wrote Tacitus of Londinum. Nation of shopkeepers, snapped Napoleon. Decadent, Ribbentrop whispered into the ear of Hitler. But poised above the city, over the heads of the ant-like workers, the bartering of goods and the exchange of money, hangs the great dome of St. Paul's. Samuel Pepys watched the burning of Old St. Paul's in the Great Fire of London in 1660, and it made him weep, he said, to see the churches, houses, and all on fire and flaming at once, in the most horrid, malicious, bloody flame. But Londoners fighting the second Great Fire on the night of December 29th, 1940, when the Nazi bombers rained furious rage on the innocent roofs of the city, Londoners lived to see Wren's great dome riding the sea of flame, floating unscathed in the morning darkness above the smouldering devastation of their city. Still St. Paul stands in glorious triumph over the agonies of history. Here come the workers for peace and spiritual